Hi, my name is Adjani Daughma. I'm joining the Air Force. I leave for BMT in 35 days on November the 27th, and I just wanted to document my process of joining the Air Force. Today's video will be about my MEPS experience, which was about a week ago. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So the first thing I did on the Monday, which is when I was going up to MEPS, is I went to my recruiter's office and I signed some papers. It was basically guidelines of what you do at MEPS and what you don't do at MEPS. It was like, don't bring weapons. Can you stop? Can you stop? As I was saying, the first thing I did on MEPS day was I went to my recruiter's office at like 9:30 in the morning to sign papers. It's basically telling you what you can do at MEPS and what you can't do. It's basically saying don't bring weapons, don't bring any sort of thing that can hurt anybody. Also, don't be disrespectful. You are portraying yourself and your recruiter because they do know who your recruiter is. And you just have to be respectful because you are going into the military, or at least trying to, and you have to be respectful at all times, no matter who, no matter when or what is happening. So I had to sign that paper before I even went up. And then as the day progressed, I got a bus taking to MEPS. And then the first thing that happens is you go through like a metal detector. You're not allowed anything metal and you have to take it all off. It's basically like TSA, and you put everything that you own in like a room where they keep it. And the first thing they do is they check you in. They give you a sticker with the branch you're going into and your name. Pardon me? And then they tell you to go get a red paper and a white book, and you go in a room and there's a video playing on the TV, and it plays so often. I'm pretty sure if you watch it long enough you could tell what's about to happen next. So you're in there for a good hour because people are ignoring you, as they should. So you just have to deal with being alone and being left, and that's what happens. They just put you in there and they ignore you for like a good hour plus. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. And then you're taken to get your ASVAB. The ASVAB takes maybe like 3 hours. Because there's a lot of questions, and sometimes you have a personality test at the end, or you have a cyber test added on. I don't know if it was like select, but that's what I got when I went through. So it took me like a good 4 hours, and then after that I was just sitting outside waiting to go back to the hotel. Not a lot happened that night. Made some friends, had a lot of fun that night. My friend has weird backbones, shoulder blades, whatever they are. If I find the video, I'll insert it right here. The next day, wake up call is like 4:30 a.m. I couldn't sleep, so I was up at like 3:30, getting ready to get on the bus, go have breakfast and everything. So for breakfast, they all talk about make sure you have a good hearty breakfast, but the thing that they really don't stress is that if you have a good hearty breakfast, you're probably going to be adding a few pounds onto your weight. And if you go over your max weight or whatever, they are not going to give you a second chance. They're not going to be like, it's okay, we understand you had a big breakfast or whatever. They're just going to like send you home. So I would advise that you probably don't eat that much, just enough to sustain you until lunch. Lunch was about 11 o'clock for me. So I was good. I was a little hungry. I only had like a cup of water and a yogurt, but I was living. That's basically what I eat right now, so it didn't really make a big deal. And then, so it's medical. The whole day is medical. Well, like the whole half of the day. Half of the day? Anyway. So they start you off with a medical briefing, and they stress, if you have anything you want to add, now is the time to tell us, because if you don't tell us now, you will be fined and you could also be court-martialed. The thing about that is all a lie. They won't do that. It won't happen. So say you told your recruiter that you haven't been to the ER, and you realize once you're at MEPS, I went to the ER that one time for that one thing. I don't care if it's like a big thing, don't bring it up. because as soon as there's a discrepancy, they're just like, disqualified, go back home, you can do this again in like 3 weeks. So like, shut it. Just shut it. Just don't say anything. Remember it. Tell your recruiter later on. They can add it to your record later on. Just don't do it right then and there, because anything different, it's like an automatic goodbye. We don't want to. It's like when your teacher like grades your paper and they're like, yeah, I looked at it, and threw it straight in the trash. They didn't even look at it. That's what it is. Like, you're just gonna get thrown out. It's not worth it. It really is hurtful. It didn't happen to me. So glad. I went through a lot of stress to make sure all my papers were intact. My recruiter was such a big help to me. He made sure everything was ready. I literally took like an extra week plus to make sure all my papers were in order and they were right and everything was clearing me. So that was a big help. I cannot stress that enough. And then, so the next thing is we go to do our hearing test. So basically you're in like a bunker sort of room and there's headphones and a button. And basically it's gonna play tones on each ear, and you just have to decide if you can hear it, press the button. If you don't, like, don't press it. But I would say press it, because more than likely there is a tone there. And you're in there for a good like 10 minutes. It's just like, you don't know if it stopped or if you're not hearing it or if it's like too low. So you're just sitting in a room just waiting to get out. And then we do the medical forms. And here they also stress, if there's anything that you want to put down that you did not put down before, here's the time to put it now, or else you will be court-martialed. You would also be fined, and you could even face jail time. Don't do it. Whatever you told your recruiter, put on the paper. Anything other than what's on the paper that your recruiter signed, you're done. Like, don't even bother. They're just gonna disqualify you right then and there. So don't do it. If you remember later on, as I said. So after that, we go and do the urine test. A funny story, I went with people, and this one guy could not pee for like a good 15 minutes. The nurse had to like turn on the water and flush the bathroom, and it was just like, it was good 15 to 20 minutes just standing there waiting for this guy to pee. Other than that, great, I passed. So yeah, and then it was blood. They took your blood. I've never had my blood drawn, so this was an experience for me. She couldn't find it in my right arm, so she went to my left arm. She did it like 3 times, wasn't giving enough blood, so then she had to switch back to my right arm, and she finally got it, and it was just like, why? But yeah, so she took my blood, I was good, and then I went to go and see the doctor, and we were having a great time. He was telling me that all this stuff about where I'm from and all the stuff he does when he goes to Jamaica, and I was just like, great, love it. Love a doctor who's traveled, I guess you could say. So yeah, and then we had the physical, well, we had the underwear Olympics, which is part of the physical, where basically we go in a room and we're just in our underwear, we get weighed, our height checked, height measured, I don't know. And then we have to do some arm movements to make sure that all our joints work, I guess, and we have to do specific like stands on our legs, and we have to duck walk. It's not that hard. I thought it was gonna be a lot harder, but it was very easy, to be honest. So like, don't stress it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail, because once that's in your head, it's gonna happen. So don't do that. Just relax, just breathe, just everything's gonna be good. And then the physical, they basically just like check you in the front and the back, literally 2 seconds and they're done. Great, you pass, whatever. And then your doctor is also going to go over medical forms, the same forms that you've already filled out, and he's also going to say, is there anything else you want to put on? What is the answer? The answer is no. Everything on there is everything that you have said, and that's what you stand by. Because remember, if you say anything different, it's a red flag. You're going to get disqualified. You're going to have to come back in a couple of months, and that's not what we want. We're all trying to get shipped off as soon as possible, so don't be messing yourself up. And then after that, you're basically done. Oh, there's also a vision test. It's just like depth of perception. There's gonna be like 3 circles, and you just have to see which one's higher than the others, I guess you could say. Tip for that, if you move your head when you're looking at it, one of them's not gonna move. Well, 2 of them are gonna move, and then one's just gonna like change the shape of how you're seeing it. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, so that's what happens. And then basically after that, you either qualify or you disqualify. I qualified, so I went to go see my Air Force liaison, and then I had to do a weight test in there. You have to lift 50 pounds, 70 pounds, and 100 pounds above a specific line. If you do that, I guess you're good. I don't know. I guess that helps you get jobs somehow. So I did that. I think I passed it. I'm pretty sure I passed it. I got the 100 pounds past the line, so I passed it. And then after that, I went and got my fingerprints done. And then I came back to the Air Force liaison, and I was trying to get sworn in at 1 p.m. The computer decided to freeze, so I was actually sworn in at 2 p.m. An hour of me just sitting there, not doing anything. And that was basically it. After that, you just wait until your charter or your bus is here to take you. They have a swear-in ceremony, and you have to swear that you're gonna do whatever you gotta do to be in the Air Force, and you're not gonna break any laws, and you're not gonna do this, and you're not gonna do that. So basically, you're just making sure that you're doing this for you. You're not being forced to do it. Nobody's telling you you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. So it was a lot more chill than I would have expected from a MEPS facility. I was expecting it to be very strict. You walk here, you do this, you walk on the left side, and don't look at that person. But it was not all that. It was so relaxed. Everybody was talking to you. Nobody was really like all up in your face yelling at you. So I would say MEPS is not as hard as you think it is. Whatever you're thinking MEPS is going to be, it is not. It is probably going to be 20 times less than what you're thinking. So just relax. Don't be too harsh. Also, you just got to be in the mind of you've already made it. You're good. Don't be fretting everything, because it doesn't help at all. It's just gonna like stress. Also, don't drink coffee, because coffee will raise your blood pressure. And if your blood pressure is high, you can also be disqualified, because that could say that you might have heart problems, and nobody wants that. So that was my MEPS experience for the Air Force, October 2018. I hope this video helped you a lot. If you would like to see any other videos, comment them down below. I'm leaving in 5 weeks, in 35 days. So if you guys have a date, comment it down below. Let's talk. I'll also put my social media, and we can talk there. I'm trying to start my Air Force social media, I guess you could say. So this is gonna be my YouTube channel. I'm probably gonna have it my Instagram, and that might be it for now. But thank you. I hope you guys learned some stuff from this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.